You've probably felt it, that silent tension in the air when you like a woman and she starts to pull away. You didn't say anything wrong. You didn't cross a line. Yet something about your presence begins to lose gravity, as if the invisible thread between you suddenly loosened. And what hurts most isn't her silence. It's the way it makes you doubt yourself. You start overanalyzing every word, every pause, every emoji. You wonder if you were too much, too fast, too open. But what if what you call rejection is actually her unconscious reaction to the frequency you were transmitting all along? Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In relationships, that unconscious current is energetic, not mystical but behavioral. It's the subtle vibration of lack that seeps through your tone, your timing, your words. It's what women feel before they can explain it. Think of it like scent. You can't see it, but it defines attraction. The moment a man's energy starts to smell of emotional need, of wanting something from her to feel complete, her body registers it as pressure, and pressure kills polarity. You might be texting her good morning every day, showing effort, being consistent, being the good guy. But underneath all of it, your nervous system is broadcasting one silent message: please choose me so I can feel enough. That's the frequency of neediness, the invisible static that turns presence into persuasion and desire into duty. This video isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. Because once you understand the energetic signal you emit, you can shift it, not by playing games, but by reclaiming coherence between what you want and what you radiate. When you realign that frequency, women feel it instantly. Not through words, but through the calm gravity of a man who doesn't chase resonance. He creates it. You keep saying yes. Yes to her last-minute plans. Yes to the change of tone that leaves you unsettled. Yes to her pulling back and returning as if nothing happened. You say yes because you don't want to lose her. But underneath that yes lives fear. The fear of being unwanted, unloved, or easily replaced. Every time you agree against your truth, your body feels it. A slight contraction in the chest, a quiet resentment under the skin. You tell yourself you're being kind, but what you're really doing is negotiating your own value. Picture this. She cancels on you again, apologizing with a playful text. You reply, "No worries." You want to sound easygoing, but your gut twists. You replay her message, hoping for warmth that isn't there. Or maybe it's the coworker you secretly like. She flirts when she's bored, then vanishes when you show interest. You stay polite, helpful, available, even though something inside you knows you're bleeding presence into a void. The masculine wound hides behind agreement. The nice guy's smile is often a mask for fear, the fear that if he resists, he'll lose love. But here's the paradox. Every time you bend to keep her, she feels less of you. The feminine doesn't crave compliance. She craves containment. And when your yes is born from anxiety, not authenticity, she feels that collapse in your energy before a single word is spoken. You've probably met men who don't need to over-explain themselves. They say no without apology, and women still orbit around them. It's not arrogance, it's vibrational autonomy. A no from them doesn't push away, it defines. It tells the world, this is who I am, and this is what I will not trade for approval. The difference isn't tone, it's coherence. When your yes and your truth align, your presence feels grounded. When they diverge, your frequency fractures. And women feel that fracture like static. There's a scene that repeats itself in so many relationships. She tests a limit, a subtle one, maybe a dismissive comment, a flirt with another man in front of you, a long delay in answering your messages. Most men respond by minimizing it, by pretending it doesn't sting. They tell themselves they're being patient, but patience without boundary isn't maturity. It's quiet self-erasure, and she feels it. Not consciously, but viscerally. Something inside her withdraws, not because you're too soft, but because your energy stopped holding shape. A true no isn't defiance, it's structure. It's not about control, but containment. The moment you stop negotiating your worth, the emotional current changes. You stop radiating, "Please love me," and start emanating, "I am whole," whether you stay or not. Every no to what violates your truth is a yes to your own energy, and that self-consistency is what women instinctively trust. When you say yes to everything, you disappear in the fog of approval. But when you learn to say no, calmly, without rage or resistance, something paradoxical happens. Your presence sharpens. She can feel you again. And that feeling, that grounded refusal, is the first scent of real masculine power. You thought being easygoing would make her feel safe. You thought that by saying yes, by adapting, by showing her you were different from the men who hurt her, she would stay. But the more you adjusted, the more she drifted. Her texts became shorter, her eyes colder. What once felt intimate now feels polite. You tell yourself she's stressed, distracted, busy. But deep down you feel it. She's not drawn to you the same way. And that's when the confusion hits. I'm doing everything right, so why do I feel invisible? Because in the feminine psyche, the boundary isn't rejection, it's reflection. A woman's attraction doesn't awaken from comfort, it awakens from contrast. She doesn't crave your obedience, she craves the outline of your energy, the line she can feel when she touches your world. Without that edge, there's no gravity. Without gravity, there's no polarity. Think of a moment when she pushed just a little too far, maybe a teasing remark that crossed a line or a sudden emotional withdrawal. You felt a small fire in your chest, but you swallowed it, afraid to seem controlling. You laughed it off. She smiled, but something changed. The dynamic flattened. She stopped feeling you as presence and started seeing you as background. The truth is, boundaries are not walls, they're mirrors. When you set one, you're not keeping her out. You're showing her who you are. You're giving her something to feel against. A man without boundaries dissolves into accommodation. A man with boundaries emanates shape. In one scenario, you respond instantly to her inconsistent texts, hoping to reignite connection. In another, you take a breath, sense your irritation, and choose silence, not out of strategy, but out of integrity. That small pause, that self-respect in action, alters the entire frequency between you. She feels the structure return, the masculine ground re-emerging beneath her emotional tide. At first, she might resist it. The feminine often tests structure to confirm its reality. She may question your tone, accuse you of being distant, try to pull you back into the softness of compliance. But beneath the surface, her body relaxes. Because finally, she feels something stable enough to surrender to. The man who pleases loses polarity. The man who stands creates tension. And tension, not comfort, is the soil of desire. When you draw a line, you are not saying, "I reject you." You're saying, "I exist apart from you." That subtle independence is what makes the feminine open, because now she can approach you not as a caretaker or judge, but as a woman. Imagine this quiet scene. She reaches out after days of silence. You feel that familiar pull, the temptation to melt, to forget how her absence made you shrink, but instead you slow down. You don't rush to reply. You let your body decide if it truly wants to re-engage. And when you finally answer, your words are calm, measured, without hunger. That's when she feels it, not your distance, your depth. Your boundary becomes a silent invitation. It's the magnetic field where her desire reawakens, because your no created the space where she can surrender without losing herself. And in that space, she doesn't just see you, she feels you again. You want to be respected. You want her to look at you and feel that quiet admiration, that sense of safety and magnetism that doesn't need to be earned. Yet no matter how many times you explain your intentions, defend your worth or prove your value, something in her eyes tells you she's not fully convinced. She listens to your words, but she doesn't feel your power. And that's the part most men never understand. Women don't react to what you say, they react to the frequency behind it. You might speak with reason, but if your energy trembles underneath, if you secretly fear losing her approval, every word carries the scent of submission. She won't know why, but something inside her body will relax away from you, not into you. Authority isn't about dominance, it's about coherence. When what you say, feel, and believe are aligned, your presence communicates more than any argument could. The calm silence of an integrated man speaks louder than the loudest justification. Picture this moment. You're with her at a restaurant. She flirts lightly with another guy, maybe a waiter, maybe a stranger's glance that lingers too long. You feel a rush of heat in your chest. Most men collapse in one of two ways. They either explode, exposing insecurity, or they suppress, pretending not to care. Both reactions betray disconnection. But then there's a third path. You breathe, hold your gaze steady, say nothing. Not because you're numb, but because you're aware. You're not fighting for control. You're embodying it. That stillness is the throne. And she feels it immediately. The grounded power of a man who no longer seeks validation through reaction. In another scene, she challenges your opinion during a disagreement. You notice the urge to convince her, to win. Instead, you allow your truth to stand without performance. Your words slow down. Your tone drops. You don't need her agreement to confirm your reality. That's inner authority in motion, the invisible signal that says, I am anchored in my truth and your storm doesn't move me. When a man stops arguing for his worth, he becomes the embodiment of it. Most men think authority means control, but control is external. It's brittle, anxious, dependent on obedience. True authority is internal. It radiates from congruence. It's the energy of a man who no longer negotiates with his fear of loss. When your no comes from fear, it sounds like resistance. When it comes from truth, it sounds like gravity. That's the difference between pushing her away and pulling her deeper. In the absence of inner authority, every gesture feels performative, an attempt to be seen. But when authority lives within you, attention becomes unnecessary. You don't need her to see you, she simply does. Because the feminine instinctively orbits around coherent energy. You've probably seen this dynamic at work. A man who says little, moves slowly, and yet commands the room. He's not the loudest, the funniest, or the most charming, but he's centered. His words carry weight because his silence already did. That's the invisible throne, the state where no compliment can build you and no rejection can destroy you. Stop trying to be respected. Live respectably. When your actions mirror your truth, respect stops being a goal. It becomes the atmosphere around you. Authority is born the moment need dies. And when that happens, desire, hers and yours, stops being a pursuit and becomes a recognition. You believe that being available makes you desirable, that showing care, consistency and presence will make her feel safe enough to love you back. But what you call presence often becomes saturation, a constant signal that leaves no room for curiosity, no space for her longing to grow. You text her first every morning, eager to maintain connection. You check her stories, interpret every silence as a threat, and yet she seems to come alive only when you step back, when your voice disappears from her phone, when your energy retreats into your own world. Suddenly, she remembers you exist. That paradox hurts, doesn't it? The more you give, the less she feels, the less you offer, the more she reaches. But this isn't a game, it's the law of emotional scarcity. In female psychology, desire is not born from abundance, but from selective presence. The feminine is drawn to mystery, but not the kind you fake. True mystery is the natural aura of a man whose energy is directed inward, whose world is already full, whose self-respect doesn't depend on who texts first. Think about the man who spends his evenings not chasing responses, but living, training, reading, creating, laughing with friends. He isn't withholding for strategy. He's absorbed in his own expansion. When she feels that, it stirs something ancient in her, the attraction to a man whose life is larger than her approval. In another scene, imagine you pull back after weeks of chasing. Not as punishment, but because something inside you tires of the imbalance. You stop checking your phone. You focus on what you've neglected, your work, your body, your stillness. The energy that once leaked toward her begins to circulate within you. That's when she texts again, and suddenly, the same silence that felt like loss now feels like power. Silence creates tension. Tension creates value. And value is what fuels desire. You might think women are drawn to men who give endlessly, but what truly attracts is the sensation of earning access. When your attention becomes rare, not because you're cold, but because it has weight, she feels the gravity return. The no you give to constant availability is what restores your magnetism. It's not about punishing her absence, it's about protecting your essence. When you stop feeding her emotional hunger with instant replies and validation, she begins to feel the vacuum, the echo of your absence. And in that echo, desire is reborn. This dynamic plays out everywhere. In dating, when she loses interest after you overextend. In relationships, when routine kills polarity. Even at work, when colleagues respect the man who doesn't seek approval but commands quiet certainty. Scarcity, when rooted in authenticity, isn't manipulation, it's magnetism. The more you embody fullness, the more your silence speaks. Because it's not her absence that makes her miss you, it's your self-return. Every time you stop giving your attention like charity, she values it like gold. Your no creates the emptiness in which her curiosity, longing, and hunger awaken, the three primal ingredients of desire. And so the irony completes itself. The man who doesn't chase becomes unforgettable, because she can't stop feeling him even in his absence. The no is the portal where you stop being accessible and start being felt. And feeling you, that's where wanting you begins. What you call rejection is often just resonance. Her nervous system reacting to the frequency you've been radiating all along. When you move from need to presence, from persuasion to embodiment, the entire field between you changes. Women don't fall for words. They surrender to energy that feels whole. The journey through your no was never about control. It was about coherence. Because a man who doesn't need to be chosen speaks with a different gravity. His silence feels safe, his gaze feels certain, and his touch carries the weight of self-possession. That's the paradox of masculine magnetism. The more you return to yourself, the more the world comes toward you. There's a moment every man faces when he realizes that chasing connection only deepens the void. The only way out is inward, to stop proving and start becoming, to shift from the frequency of lack to the vibration of sovereignty. In this stillness, you stop broadcasting need. You start emanating peace, and peace to the feminine is the rarest aphrodisiac of all. So if something inside you stirred while hearing this, it's because a deeper part of you already knows the energy you've been waiting for from her was never hers to give. It's been yours all along.